Well, hello, my stamping friends. It is Monday night at 6 o'clock, so that means it's time for fun card making with Anne the Stamp Maven. I hope you guys all had an awesome day and are ready to look at some new fun products and a new fun fold. Tonight, I am going to be giving you a sneak peek out of this July to December mini catalog. We are actually going to be using some of the products from this Splendid Day Suite. It actually has a stamp set, coordinating dies, some super fun trinkets, ribbon, and the designer series paper. I have just got to show you this paper. I know, let me see if I turn off this light. Maybe we can see it a little bit better. It's foil on one side, and then it's got yummy colors as well as our foil. Can you see that? I don't know about you, but I love foil paper. Here's another one that's silver, and then this is very subtle on the background. It's kind of hard to see the pattern, but it's just gorgeous. This is the soft sea foam, and then on this side there's more soft sea foam. This is more foil, and that's the Calypso that I showed you. And I showed you that one. This one is really cool. You could use this for scrapbooking or just chop it up and use it for your card making. Isn't that fun paper? Hey, Dawn, I know. I just love this paper too. It just, you know, the foil, it's really just subtle pattern in there. And this is the stamp set that we're going to use, the Splendid Thoughts. Let me show you the card. This is the one we're going to be making tonight. It's a double flap fold. And here's another sample. I was actually on a stamping retreat this weekend, and I made up this sample. This is actually retired designer series paper. It was our peach suite. This paper, though, right here and here is our Tahitian Tide designer series paper. I love the way it all coordinated. And then this is one of our newer stamp sets with a big happy birthday greeting. So let's get busy here, and I'm going to show you how to make this card. It really is easier than you might think. And I will have a blog post later this week with all the measurements, but I'll tell you what they are. This is our fresh Freesia cardstock, and it is 7.5 by 5.5, and I've scored it at 4 1/4. So we are actually going to go ahead and burnish this with our bone folder. Then I have a piece of fresh Freesia, another piece. I wonder if we could say that, like fresh Freesia, fresh Freesia. How many times could we say that? Hey, Rhonda. Hey, Kay. So glad you guys could pop in. So this piece is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. So it's square, and then it is scored at 1 inch. And we are also going to burnish this. Then we've got another piece of fresh Freesia that is 3.5 inches by 2.5. Then we've got a little piece of basic white that goes in the inside of the fresh Freesia. That's what we're going to stamp on. And it is, where am I? It is 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. And then I have a piece. Actually, I'm going to have to cut this down. Let me get my trimmer. I thought I had that all cut, but, you know, I probably did, and Dave probably came in here and snuck it away. So he loves this cutter, so he could have done that. So the white is 4 by 5 1/4. And that's this piece right here. Then what we have, of course, we've got to use this beautiful designer series paper. So we've got a piece that is 5 1/4 by 2 3/4. Then we've got this piece that is 3 by 4. Now I'm going to use the foil side. You could also use the reverse, which I did here. So actually, maybe I'll do that here so it'll be exactly the same. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to do, I have got that fresh Freesia that I folded, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to take this piece and we are going to attach it on the back right here. So I'm going to get out my handy dandy liquid glue and give it a couple shakes, and hopefully it will come out. If not, we'll just get my safety pin here. I don't know if that happens for you guys, but even when I put the cap on, sometimes it is a little slow coming out. There it is. Okay, and we are going to just butt it up right against this white, and that is actually going to create our flap. So now we've got our card base here, so we are going to go ahead and center this white piece, which will be the inside, and we're going to get that right down here. See how easy this is? I love most of the fun fold cards that you do. If you just make it once or twice, then you can probably even do it without any measuring. So, I mean, where you have to look at it. Of course, you have to measure it, but where you look at it. Okay, now on the front, I'm going to put this yummy piece of DSP that's 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. And we're just going to center that right at the top and the side. It's got a little bit more on the sides than the top. And did you notice how I kind of scooched that over a little? That is one of the best things about using this liquid glue. Okay, now we are going to put this layer on. So I'm going to do it on the reverse side, and you just basically layer it on. You may not want to cover up that beautiful foil, and hey, I totally get that. I just like to have both patterns on my card. Okay, now I'm going to use the outline stamp from the Sending Thoughts, and I'm going to use my soft seafoam. So we are going to open that up, and I'm going to ink it up, and we're just going to come along here, and I'm going to stamp it over here because I want to put my greeting. Now, you'll notice on here that I put fresh freesia in the center. How did I do that? Well, of course, with our coordinating products, I just took my fresh freesia Stampin' Blends and I just colored right in here. And I just did every little center. There is a stamp that you can use to stamp on the inside if you wanted, but I just wanted to do it with this Stampin' Blend marker. And I'm actually using the light one just to give a little color here in the middle. Let me just go back over that and get a little more here, here, and here. Then I've got my sending hugs, and I think I stamped that using the Sweet Sorbet. But you know what? Tonight I am actually going to use Basic Gray because I want to show you. I like to use Basic Gray. It is not quite as harsh as our Memento Black. See how that turns out? It's a little bit softer, and I kind of like that. Now, we're just going to put our glue on the back. And let's pop it on this layer that I cut. And then we can use dimensionals to pop this guy up on the front. Now, sometimes when I know I'm going to be mailing a card, I like to use these mini dimensionals instead of the regular size one. Reason being, then it won't stick up quite as much when you've got it in the envelope. That's just a little trick that I do sometimes. All right, so we're going to put that right here. Now, I used, and let me grab them, I used these embellishments. There are iridescent rhinestone basic jewels. Now, I don't know if you can see it. Hopefully you can, but this, when they're iridescent, so depending how you hold them, they almost look like it's this fresh freesia color. And I just think that is beautiful. So we're just going to pull off some of these rhinestones and just get them here on the card. Now, the embellishments that come with this suite are these cool little trinkets. Now, what I would also maybe do on a card like this is to use some twine, and then it's got a nice hole right here, so you could easily hang down this wherever you wanted it to be on there. And that gives you just a little more pop. This suite also comes with this beautiful ribbon. It's very sheer, and it's actually seam binding ribbon. Do you remember when your mom maybe used to make your clothes? Maybe you make clothes. My mom was a home ec teacher, and that was not a hobby that I enjoyed. So I was kind of a tomboy growing up. So I wanted to just go out and play outside, and my mom made me sew. Of course, in high school, I took home ec, but seam binding, you would use when you did hems, things like that. What I love about this is, and I'm going to just tie a bow here just to show you. I love it because, come on here, fingers, it lays so nice and flat. So, isn't that pretty, the way it just ties and it's flat, and you could easily put this on your card. Either just, you could put it on like this and cut it, or you could wrap it all the way around your project. As a matter of fact, I kind of like that bow on there. So I think I'm going to just go ahead and cut this. Normally, I would untie it and tie it again, not to waste so much, but I don't want to do that right now to take up your time. So I am just going to, I like this side better, I'm going to just chop it off here and grab a couple of glue dots. See, don't you kind of like stamping on the fly? Sometimes you have an idea of what you want to do, and then you get it going, and you think, oh man, I'm going to try something else. So we are going to pop this cool bow right on there, peel off these glue dots, and let's just get it right on there. Oh, I love that. What do you think? And there's the double flap fold. So easy. Flap 1, flap 2, and then you could easily just do your stamping on the inside. Well, hey, Tracy and Susan. So glad you could join us. Let me show you. Now, the catalog I showed you is going to start in July. I think it's July 1st. It might be July 3rd, but I think it's the 1st. And July to August is also celebration. So let's just look through this really quickly. We've got our hippest hippos and our hippo dies. When you spend $50 in July or August, you can choose either one of these. If you spend $100, you can get both of them. We've got this beautiful Rings of Love DSP, another choice for $50. Stylish Sketches and Pool Party and Soft Seafoam cards and envelopes. Silver and Gold DSP. Now this one is when you spend $100, you get all these amazing phrasing, and I love, it's got woohoo on there. I use that all the time, so you can bet I'll be getting that. We've got these tree lot dies here. A Wonderful World stamp set and DSP for $100. And then if you host a qualifying party, you can get the perfect pomegranate. I'm very happy with this celebration. Sometimes I don't always like all the choices, but this one is a home run, and the mini catalog has some awesome Christmas and fall and other things. If you don't have a demonstrator and you haven't gotten a catalog yet, leave me a message and I'll be glad to send you one. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed our card tonight and seeing that new suite. And hey, if you try and you make this card, send me a picture of it. I love to see what you create. And if you want to, if you missed some of this, I'm going to post the recording right after we're done. and you can rewind it and catch it again. Well, thanks for popping in, guys. See you again next week.